welcome to Peacemaker Talks, where we're practicing peace to make it. Today, I am lucky to have from Patriots Raw and the director of operations here at the America First Warehouse, Teresa.
Thank you.
It's
It's awesome to be on here with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I brought in the big guns today because
Aw.
we have Peter Tickton coming on, and he is going to update us with everything Peter Teeners that we want to know. And he is, I think, coming on a Zoom.
Yes,
any
he's coming
moment.
on Zoom any second now. They're just getting him ready.
Okay.
We had him on last week prior to Tina coming on, and he's incredible. What a patriot, and what he's doing on his own time.
Right.
People. It's incredible.
Well, that's, there's such confusion right now, and I know a lot of January 6th I call them, there's different, everyone has the real January 6th, you got your Peacemaker January 6th, we're all uniting, and I have some questions for him also in regards to that I hope to hit, because with the weaponization fund that
Yes.
it's on again, off
Off
again.
again. It's like a high school relationship.
That or, playing hockey in the street, right?
So much so.
Moving the goalpost every 2 minutes. But, yeah, so that, and we want to make sure we ask about that, because I think there's a lot of people who, we really deserve answers.
Yes, you do. And you deserve real justice and compensation. So, and I just want to ask you a quick question after what you just said. I asked Rob and Olivia Moores when they were on our show a few weeks ago, and as you know, there's a stark difference, obviously. I'm a J6er, you're a J6er.
Yes.
You're a politically persecuted J6er, and I am not. And I found over the last few years that J6ers that were in prison and were persecuted, I call them prisoners of war or politically persecuted, find it offensive if I say I'm a J6er. So I always say it proudly because I was proud to be there. Do you have a feeling on this? So Lego Man, I'll just say, he said, as long as you refer to us as the politically persecuted J6ers who were jailed, by all means say that you're a J6er. So does that matter to you? Do you feel a difference?
And
I don't want to offend you guys.
I love it when somebody says that they're a January 6er, because you don't say that with, like, if you're saying that,
It's prideful. I'm saying it I was so proud to be there.
You got that, you're clicking in, you're cluing in, because I tell you, there's a lot of people living out in Queens. There's a lot of people who still look down, like, kind of this,
There's a stigma, like, right?
Yeah.
Still. And like I think I said to you even yesterday on the phone when I was at CPAC last year.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm so sorry.
Up.
Is Peter with
I
us?
think he's with us.
Peter?
Okay, so I think they're just getting him set up.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Last year when you were...
Yes, at CPAC last year, when all the J6ers had just been pardoned, and then a week or two later, a lot of them were, coming to CPAC in DC. And they were just coming out of jail. So obviously, like, what it's like to just try to get acclimated back into society. And I felt like a real emotional sense of these people must feel I think, and you can correct me, you're one of them, like the world must have thought you were the villain. And to us at CPAC, all of the J6ers that were there that had just come out of jail were a hero to me. So going up to them and giving them, love and saying thank you, and to me, you're one of our heroes, they were just so taken back by that. And I think that's because they must have felt like the villain for so long.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to know, like, yeah, but there's a whole bunch of us that see you guys as heroes. And that's how I see you and all them.
Well, you're certainly my hero, because
Thank you.
when you're absolutely right, we're struggling. I have to use my words, choose them wisely, because it is like this, almost you're in a tide, and the direction I want to head in. Like, I have my sights set. Oh, here we go. So it'll reveal itself.
There he is, the man of the hour.
Hello. How are you, sir? Oh,
I think we don't have sound yet.
okay.
We'll just
Oh, sorry, that's my.
There he is. You've been a little busy and tired, I'm sure. We're going to give you a lot of grace.
Okay, all right. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Well, in terms of Tina Peters, I'm as happy as a lark.
Yes.
So many things.
I think we have a bit of a bad connection, or is it feedback? Is it that's affecting? Okay.
Okay, we'll give him a second to maybe.
Are you frozen? Oh, no, okay.
There we go.
Exactly. Okay, all right.
The powers that be don't want us communicating.
I tell
'Cause we're
ya.
too strong in numbers.
So you were telling. Yeah, you're having a bit of a communication issue here.
Yeah, what program are you using? Workplace? Is that what it's called?
This is Google. This is Zoom.
Oh, you're on Zoom, so it shouldn't. I've never had problems until today.
Well, we hear you now. So how is Tina, and how are you, and what's the next steps? What can we fill us in?
Well, with Tina, we've got. I mean, she's out of prison. I mean, so. But prison isn't like going to visit a place. It's being someplace that's an awful place.
Sure is.
And so she needs time. She needs to be able to adjust and get her health back, because to a great extent, she really is compromised a little bit. But she's getting there. I mean, she was on Bandit the other day. She looked just fine.
She looked beautiful,
I've spoken to her
actually.
myself.
Yeah, she looked beautiful, and
She did.
she spoke she was so poised, and it was so refreshing to see her speaking. I know right now they're worried about her safety, right? There's a lot of concerns about safety right now.
There's a lot of concern about safety. Sure. I mean, there are crazy people in Colorado. I mean, I get death threats for representing her, and I get warned that if I don't get off her case, I had one person that threatened that if I didn't get off her case, that they were going to kidnap my daughter and have her disemboweled. And they used my daughter's name. So
Wow.
they researched it a little bit.
Wow.
But you know what? That
Rebuke
person
that.
is now sitting in a jail cell in Broward County. They extradited her from Colorado.
Wow.
So, yeah, because my daughter happens to be a retired judge now, and you can't threaten judges.
No, you can't. And we're going
Or
to
their
keep her
families, for
in
that
our
matter.
prayers.
It's a felony in the state of Florida.
Right.
So, but I mean, that's just one of many. We get it's just part of the game. It's part of what we do.
Right. Well, she really did speak so well the other day, and it was good, so optimistic seeing her. But as a January 6er myself, and having spent 11 months in prison, and it is adjustment to come out, and you come out, I came out swinging really, and all of a sudden it kind of catches up with you. But the recognition of when you find a good support team, so please let her know that the America First Warehouse is always is the best healing that anyone who's been in prison, politically persecuted, can find on earth, I would say.
Thank you.
Really, they're tremendous. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have this opportunity right now to speak with you. Actually, sir, you are my lawyer right now. I signed
good.
on to the, I have it's very confusing because we have the weaponization, that
Funds,
is
right.
separate, that's not you. Then we have, in my mind, it gets a little convoluted because that's one thing that's going on and off, and then you're doing the is it an SF-95, or what is it that you can say that you're doing for the January 6ers? But I do want to talk more on Peter, so I'm Miss Peters. I'm kind of
Okay,
hitting you with
all
a
right.
lot here.
Okay, well, talking about, okay, let's talk about Tina Peters.
Okay.
And I definitely want to talk about the J6ers because
Okay.
it's very important too. But with Tina Peters, we're still pursuing her case. See, people don't know what she was actually charged with, okay? And everybody thinks they know, but they think it was some kind of election fraud or for imaging the computers and not giving them up. In fact, that's what it was. In reality, that's what it was, because the clerks that imaged their computers, when told they're going to get prosecuted unless they give it up, they gave it all up. Every one of them. The only one that didn't and knowing what she was doing and knowing that she was probably going to get hit for it was Tina Peters. That's why she's an American hero. It's because when push came to shove, she stood up for our country. She wasn't about to give in to the people that are actually involved in fixing the vote. You know, because that's what Jenna Griswold was actually doing. This woman is a criminal. Okay, and how do I say she's a criminal? Because there's a federal statute that requires that the election officials keep the records from the election for 22 months. If not, they can go to prison for up to a year for each offense. Well, Jenna Griswold went to 62 counties and had her people put in something called a trusted build. She wiped out all the data of the Dominion machines after the 2020 election in 62 out of 64 counties in the state of Colorado. This woman is a criminal. And to cover up what she's doing and to have a scapegoat, she went after Tina Peters.
Wow.
But Tina Peters was put in prison for that. But that's not the charge. Okay, so what was she charged with? She was charged with lying to the Secretary of State about the identity of the guy that she had there that imaged the computers.
Right.
But not for imaging the computers and not about lying about that part of it, but when Jenna Griswold sent her crew in to put in the trusted build, which basically wiped out all of the data and overwrote on top of it. You know, even if you wipe it out, you can still get it. But when you overwrite
Hold
it,
on a
then
second.
it's
You're
gone.
going to get cut off, and I don't want you to. This is very important. So if you could just hold that, we're going to go to commercial. We're on a commercial right now.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
to Peacemaker Talks with Mr. Peter Tickton and attorney which we're speaking on Tina Peters' freedom. And I also have here with me special guest co-hosting Teresa from the Warehouse. You might know her from Patriots Raw. But we cut off Mr. Tickton right as he was telling us about Jenna Griswold's crimes. So if you recall where you left off, if you could please proceed with...
Yes, Jenna Griswold is the real criminal here.
Correct.
Because she violated federal law and she should be prosecuted. And, should I be so fortunate as to become the next Attorney General, believe me, she will be. And I hope that if I'm not and Todd Blanche is, then that Todd does the right thing and makes sure that that happens. So, with Tina, so she was prosecuted for the crime of lying to Jenna Griswold about who was in the room at the time that her people were putting in the trusted bill. And the funny thing about this is that she didn't have any right to make these rules of who could be in the room, except for the fact that as Secretary of State, she was somehow got the right, and I don't know if this was statutorily permitted, I don't know how it happened, but she had the right to make different rules regarding COVID. So this was not an election issue. This is a COVID issue.
Wow.
And so we had Tina Peters introduced Conan Hayes as another one of the people that actually had access to her office. So why? Okay. Why did she lie? Because that's the crime. Tina knew that she needed to have somebody image the machine before and after the trusted build was put in. She knew they were coming in and they were going to wipe out the machine. She was sure of that. So were some other clerks. So she asked the state, do you have somebody in your IT people, anybody there? They checked. They had nobody that knew how to image a hard drive, or so they said, and they didn't provide anybody. So then she had to go looking, and she found one of her sources had this guy. They said we're giving you the best guy we've got. And this fellow was certified by Homeland Security to do just this kind of thing. When you get certified by Homeland Security, you're not just certified, yes, you could do the act. It's also, and you can be trusted with the information, okay? So here we've got somebody totally certified. And here's the deal.
Did we get frozen? I'm sorry. You're thinking? I'm sorry. I'm hanging on every word you're saying. And
Okay, the one condition is you can't use his name.
okay.
Why? Why can't she use his name? But you can't use his name because he was instrumental with just breaking up this not the drug trafficking, but a human trafficking cartel.
Oh.
And they were gunning for him. They wanted him dead. And so if we start using his name for where he's going to be, you're putting his life in danger. Okay, I won't use his name. Right? So then the time came when they were in there doing the trusted bill, and she gave him another name. And then later, when she refused to give Jenna Griswold the images that were taken of the computer disks and so on, and then they decided to get her charged, they had to find something to charge her with. And there they had this lie, okay? This is the one thing that they had. And of course she has a good defense in doing it because number one, she wants to make sure that she's obeying federal law. The supremacy clause in the Constitution says that if you're following federal law, in order to obey federal law, you have to break state law. That's too bad for the state. You can break state law if it's in order to obey federal law. That's why these ICE agents and so on are going to be in fine shape.
Absolutely.
Because, even murder, what they calling murder, is permitted if it happens in the course of your doing your job as a federal employee. In this case, she wasn't a federal employee, so she was just had that protection, which the courts didn't acknowledge in Colorado. So that's part of what has to go to the Supreme Court of Colorado and to the Supreme Court of the United States, the Supremacy Clause issues. Because we got the Supremacy Clause issues, we've got the fact that there was no due process, and I'll explain the due process now, okay? Because if you have that defense, I couldn't tell her the right name because it would have put his life at risk, and if his life was at risk, then I can't do the things that I need to do to protect the data and so on and so forth. So so I had to obey that and not tell his name because he busted a cartel, and God knows how many women and God knows how many children he saved from real hell, real
Thank God.
real hell. You have no idea what they do to these children. It's not summer camp, I promise you that.
It's not.
Demonic.
It's horrible what they
It
do.
is.
You know, they put them out there, they get ripped inside, they sew them up, and they send them right back.
It's demonic. It's so awful.
It is. Demonic is the right word. So that's why she didn't tell the identity of the person, because it would have cost him his life. And she wasn't allowed to tell the jury what her reason was for giving the false identification. So, of course, that's not a fair trial. That's a denial of due process. She wasn't allowed to tell why she didn't have felonious intent here.
Right.
But anyway, both the judge and the Court of Appeals got that completely wrong. Okay. But from this judge, we understand why, because we know what he is. So the third thing that we're appealing on, don't forget, we got the pardon from the President of the United States. That pardon needs to mean something. And it will in a case like this, or it should in a case like this, where it's not just a state offense where somebody that had nothing to do with federal action. It was a state offense committed during the course of a federal election, and to secure the evidence of a federal election afterward. So, is that something that the president should have the power to be able to make sure he takes out of harm's way, out of a rogue state such as what Colorado is now turned into? And by the way, there's a fourth reason that we're for appeal, which is something most people don't know about. One of the jurors just so happened that some transient, some mentally ill person cut the phone lines of her business, of the juror's business. Okay.
Believable.
Did what? I'm sorry,
Right.
I missed
They
that.
cut the phone lines
Oh.
of the business.
Yeah, this happened during the course of the trial. So all of a sudden, for 10 days, she's sitting there on the jury, believing that she was targeted because she's a juror in the case. And her phone lines were cut to give her a warning or whatever, okay? Well, we know that people don't think the police are going to cut their lines. They're going to think the defendant in the criminal case cut their phone lines, if anybody.
That's right.
So here we have a juror sitting there just hating Stephanie Lambert for costing her $4,000. Not Sam, I'm mixing up my people. That's another case in Michigan.
You're a busy man.
Hating Tina Peters for cutting her phone lines and costing $4,000, thinking that's why they were cut. It wasn't until way later that she found out it was by some transient that did it. So that the judge, it was brought to the judge's attention. The judge had an obligation at that point to have a particular kind of a hearing where he questions the juror to see, what's going on and whether she told the other jurors. And the judge refused. So that's another good basis for appeal. So we have all these, what happened there, okay? And I'm going to tell you about January 6th as well, because I don't know that you know yourself, why did they go after the J6ers the way they did? Okay, because again, horrible stuff. Okay, why did they do that? I'll explain it to you. So, but why did they go after Tina Peters so seriously? Okay, the first reason was the obvious one with Jenna Griswold. Okay, she was the scapegoat for whatever went wrong
That's
there.
right.
Yeah, if somebody's being prosecuted, they're not going to need to prosecute Jenna Griswold. Okay, but really, it was flipped between who was honest and decent and who was dishonest and indecent. So the first reason was the fact that it kind of was a scapegoat for Jenna Griswold. Second reason was to keep Tina Peters quiet. She's behind bars. She's not going to be able to talk to the public and tell about the election fraud. And the third and most important reason of all was to act as a deterrent. You know how they say in the airport, if you see something, say something.
Yep.
Right? Well, this is a way of making it very clear to all the clerks in the United States, not just in Colorado. If you see something,
Don't
you
say
dare
anything.
say something.
That's right.
Because you're going to end up like Tina Peters.
They were just trying to make an example out of her. That's right.
They did. That's what they did, and
Okay.
they picked it on one of the most fabulous women I've ever met. This lady, she is one of the smartest people that I've ever had to deal with. Okay, she's very bright, very sharp, and
Well,
we're going to need her.
God uses evil for good, and I feel like this is all gonna, mean a lot more when this is all said and done.
Very true. When
Yeah,
we come
no.
back, if we're going to hold that thought, I just finish because I just to give us a little bit more on Miss Tina Peters, and also
Tina
when you were
was
saying
nice.
about the January 6th, why did they go so hard after her? And just put this, ruminate on this to set President Trump up, to set up President Trump. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and you're going to let me know if we're on a commercial break. I'm new with.
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Hold that thought.
Okay, welcome back to Peacemaker Talks. It's so wonderful to talk about this because we're going to learn something new here. I was not correct. It's not too, I'm sure. I think you could give me a little bit. I think I was a little bit right that Boasberg, absolutely, my judge, tried to set up President Trump, and I can stand behind that. But we're going to hear from Mr. Peter Tickton. Thank you for coming back to the show. And
he's got the real dirt.
He does.
More dirt.
Spill the tea.
Okay, well, it's not that you're incorrect here.
Okay.
You are correct that that's a big part of it.
Okay.
But you have to understand the whole thing. You have to realize that J6 was only part of the election fraud. Okay, the machines, the people that operated the machines, that's what did it. It was the machines. Believe me, that 8 million votes that Biden got to take him up to 81 million, they didn't exist. Those were fictional people that were in the voter rolls. Andrew Paquette could tell you a lot more about exactly how that all works, but basically that's what did that. But I want to give you a different concept. I want you to think about something for a second. I mean, have you ever? Well, there you are. You're dealing with the warehouse there. I mean, you sell a lot of products with that warehouse, right?
We're not, no, what we know, we're actually a venue. We're an event center and a production studio, and we have some products that we have, but we're nothing like what you've ever seen before, so that's why I can't wait for you to come here one day.
Okay, all right. I'll be there.
Thank you.
But, okay, so let's just figure for a second that there are different kinds of people. There are some people, when it comes to selling products, who are known as early adopters. They will adopt a product. Okay? So, like, for instance, when the iPhone came out, they had, some people didn't care what it costs. It's the new thing. They see it for the future. They understand it, and they buy into it. And if you don't get a certain percentage of early adopters on a product, the product will never go anywhere. It dies.
That's right.
Okay? So if the iPhone came out and there were no people there buying it at first, the first people, because they buy it and then they tell all their friends and they're, you know, it spreads, it grows, it's a geometric progression, and and then the product takes off. But if you don't get the early adopters into it and buying it, you have a dead product. It'll never sell. That's just, people in business that understand this principle, that deal with this principle, can verify what I'm talking to you about. So what is it? What the heck does this have to do with J6ers? Think about it for a second. In the entire American population, there were what? 1,600 people who went to Washington. Why'd they go to Washington? Because they saw and understood that our election had been rigged. And they felt so strongly about it, they bought into it. They bought into it by paying the price of the tickets and the accommodation or whatever was required, and they went to Washington, D.C. Okay?
Probably.
They were the early adopters.
That's right.
So, because you want to look at how how does science look at this? You know, it's a psyop. So, you know, what happened here? Because the whole thing was a psyop.
Right.
And it was well planned in advance. I've got videos of the people that planned this going back to September 2020, where they were planning to break the windows of the Capitol on January 6th. You know, I mean, we have evidence of this, and we know who they are. Don't ask me why they're not prosecuted. Those are easy ones. We got them on tape, and nobody's going after them.
I think it's a corrupt DOJ is why.
Well, I wouldn't say corrupt. I would just say
flawed.
passive. You know, look, they're getting on a horse and riding it, and they don't even know the horse is dying. They have to fix that horse
Yes.
before they ride it,
That's right.
or while they're riding it, because there's certain things that can't stop. But nevertheless, what do you think would have happened when Apple's phone comes out, and everyone who puts in an order to buy the phone gets rounded up by some secret police and taken away, and they don't buy the phone because they're in jail? Okay, the iPhone never would have succeeded. There would have been no base of the early adopters, and so other people would never have gone for it, because in order to get the general population into it, the early adopters have to be in it first and speak for it and so on, and show everybody at work, right? So that's what they did.
Yes.
And you know, you're right,
wow.
because
Of the social movement
Yeah.
that would have been saying and screaming,
yep,
the election was rigged. They took them and they took them out of society. They arrested them. They put them in jail. They treated them terribly, and they made them ineffective as the early adopters, so that the country then was in an absence of people saying it. Well, all you could hear is, that's the big lie. You know, that's what dominated, because the early adopters were squelched. Does that all make sense?
it does.
That's brilliant.
It is, and I have to tell you, I'm a J6er as well, but I was not politically persecuted. And to your point, you're right, because I'm not afraid of anything, and I've been in some very dangerous freedom-fighting situations, but it scared the rest of us too. We took our pictures down from J6 because we were so afraid they were going to start coming after the rest of us. So you're right. I never thought of it like that. Like it actually.
Well, I
worked.
actually kind of did think that. And what they did especially was take somebody from each state almost to send the message through. And I can compare this to something that happened in another country that they did to try to squelch people. So it was very dictatorial what they did, tyrannical, and very effective, because essentially, wow, suddenly I was oil in water in my community. No one, to this day, it worked really well, because to this day, people still, I have to say, that pardon, I'm not too happy with it, because essentially it's clearing the DOJ. I didn't need to be pardoned. I didn't commit a crime. I need to get my side out. And it's almost as if people don't, get on with your life. And it's that, to me, is tyrannical to ask me to do. It's going along with the tyrant. So I feel there needs to be a reckoning with this country as far as not letting this go by, because I know, with study government too, this would get swept under the carpet and everybody's going to move on. So I do hope you become Attorney General and this becomes one of your, because if you pull this thread, it all ravels back. I say re-engineer January 6th. Just re-engineer it.
And everything is connected.
That's right.
Tina Peters is connected
to
this. That's why they went after it. Was the election. I mentioned Stephanie Lampert by mistake earlier, but she's also being persecuted. She's being charged with criminal offenses for having experts look at computers after the 2020 election.
Is she in prison?
One of her charges was recently dropped, but she still has her charges in Oakland. I'm representing her on those. The J6ers, you name whatever it was, that all these things that are going on, it's all connected. COVID is connected.
Yep.
It's all part of the same cabal. It's all part of China's plan.
That's right.
If China came in here and trying to take over our country with rifles and bullets, we'd understand it and we'd be fighting them and taking them over. But they're not. They're coming in surreptitiously.
That's right.
Sneaking into our election system, using Venezuela and Serbia and Cuba and Iran to basically do their dirty work and to basically take over our country. Because, the election in 2020 was rigged, but it wasn't stolen. It was the country that was stolen for 4 years. and they did us a tremendous amount of harm. They were aiming to destroy the country slowly but surely.
And treason. Nobody talks about treason. I mean, that, they overthrew a U.S.
I'm
presidential
talking about
election.
treason.
Well, that's
I'm
why we
talking
love
about
you.
treason.
That's because, Peter, when you spoke last year when we met you at the Perk event last July, and the words that came out of your mouth, I almost wanted to cry, because you were finally saying things that people weren't saying, and things that we say. And so to know that you're representing Sarah and the other J6ers, finally somebody who realizes treason, PSYOP, that's what needs to be.
Yes.
That's what needs to be told, and that's what needs to be. Justice needs to be served for that, and I'm very confident that you will see that through.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you see it too, because it's it's good company. When you this is scary stuff. And I know you're not afraid, and somehow, strangely, neither am I.
Good.
No, I'm not. If I were afraid, I certainly wouldn't want to be the AG. The next AG, if they're going to do the job, there's no way they can't be living on a military base. There's no way they have a life. There's no way you drive home through traffic and to be with your family at the end of the day. They better all be on that base.
That's right.
You can't go after Soros and think that you're safe. You can't go after these people that are basically behind this. Who's investigating the World Economic Forum? Who's actually looking at what their purposes are?
That's right.
People seem to know by common knowledge that they want to reduce the population of the earth, and Bill Gates wants to reduce the population of the earth down to 500 million. Well, when they talk about decreasing the population, what they're talking about is the greatest mass murder that's ever occurred on the planet. They're not talking about genocide. They're talking about something there's no word for it yet.
That's right.
Well,
and except saving the planet and reducing the population.
we're going to go to a break again. You're going to get cut off, so I want you to hold on to that thought again.
Okay.
Last break.
And truth is what it can't be sold, and that's the product we've got.
That's right.
The Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Back to Peacemaker Talks, and this has been amazing. Peter, Mr. Tickton, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge with us. I know you're very busy, but we have 12 more minutes, and I'd really like you to just discuss the things that are pressed upon your heart that you think would really sell the product of truth, if we can look at it that way now.
Excuse me. Well, I'll tell you, one of the most important things we're dealing with right now is that weaponization fund that disappeared.
Okay.
But the fund is still there. The Justice Department has the ability to settle cases. And I can understand why it got pulled back. It's not because the president doesn't believe that J6ers are patriots anymore. He knows that J6s are the patriots of the country. It's just that there's certain pragmatic reasons that it just had to be pulled back for now. I think that there will be a fund in the future. If not, one way or the other, our law firm was doing it right. In fact, we're the only ones, the Tickton Law Group, are the only ones that was doing it right, where we're filing lawsuits. And the reason I was filing the lawsuits, even though there was a fund, is because you've got two possible different ways you're going to stand in front of whoever that's trying these different cases. And either you're going to be begging because you have no basis to demand, and so you're going to be begging for whatever you get, or you're going to be, if you have a lawsuit out there, that now you're settling a demand. And it puts you in a much better position in terms of, how you should fare under the deal. So, we're still accepting new clients. We're happy to. And, I think we're going to see that people are going to sign up, because they really should, because they're not going to do a lawsuit for you if you're not signed up. It doesn't make any sense. It's a lot of work. These suits are extremely involved, because we're grouping them in groups of 10 in each suit and using common factors that are among the 10 that we do.
Smart.
And so, right now we have hundreds of cases, and we are looking to.
And there's so many different charges, right?
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you. When I say to re-engineer January 6th, and the way that they came after us was, we weren't provided, I feel as if an emergency relief fund, because so many are struggling. They really devastated us. And
purposefully,
intentionally.
Yeah,
but
I tried that.
We need justice more than we need the money. Some might disagree with me there, but I do. We need both. We need, but more so justice, because this needs to come to. They just keep getting stronger if they're not stopped. Is that correct?
That is correct. They keep getting stronger if not stopped. Yeah, because that's the nature of the beast that we're fighting.
And they double down.
And right now, we've got the midterms coming up with a possible takeover of the whole country by that. So, the mechanism for that is a very scary scenario, because in the event that they use the machines, and we got 22 Republican senators, a bigger number than normal, that are up for re-election, they could easily grab 19 of them and have 67 seats.
That's right.
If they do that, they have enough to remove. And everybody will know that it was fixed, the same way as we knew in 2020 it was fixed, but nobody will be able to do anything about it. The election is going to be November 3rd. We'll know what's going on the 4th. 62 days later, it's going to go really, really fast. That 62 days later, they're sitting in the Capitol, in each chamber, getting sworn in. And the first order of business is to elect their speakers. You're going to have Hakeem Jeffries, who's going to be elected in the House of Representatives.
Oh my God, that's
First
terrifying.
order of business then is to impeach not just Donald Trump, but they're going to impeach him and J.D. Vance at the same time.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then it goes over to the Senate. If they've got 67, or they don't even need that many because they got rhinos. So if it goes over to the Senate, yeah, if the machines are in play, and it goes to the Senate, then what do we have? Then we have the removal of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, and then who's the president of the United States?
Oh my gosh, it's terrifying.
It is.
Hakeem Jeffries.
What hope do we have here? What are we
Great
really
hope.
doing?
Great hope. Okay, so we know at the primaries at the beginning they were using the machines. Okay, we know this because of what happened in Bexar County. And I don't have time to get into what we know, but I promise you they were using the machines in the primaries. But the last round of primaries, Donald Trump's picks were all winners.
That's right.
That means those machines weren't dictating. Now, how could that be? I think it's very possible. Okay, we got Maduro, okay, out of Venezuela. He's singing like a canary. He has to be, because he doesn't want to spend life in solitary confinement in a supermax. Okay, he doesn't want to go down the Noriega route.
That's right. I think that was Trump's art of the deal, getting him for that reason, I think.
They got it for that reason. And so we're going to see and we're going to hear about it, and it's going to prove that the J6ers were all right and the rest of the world were all wrong, because that's all going to be coming out. But in the meantime, it's likely that some of the people they brought now from Venezuela knows where and who in Serbia, and that could be why the machines weren't working for the last primaries. So we have to see. But if they are working later, you better have an attorney general who's on top of it and knows what's going on so that things can be dealt with quickly. Because there'll be no time between Election Day and the day that they're installed on January 5th. The president's going to have to take decisive actions in the event that this election is rigged as well. So, there's a lot going on. And as I say, everything is connected because we are under attack. It's a surreptitious attack. We can't see it, can't feel it, can't smell it, but it's there because they're doing it very, very cleverly.
Absolutely.
And this is an invasion by foreign countries and by the World Economic Forum for to meet their goals.
Right.
So, there's much more that can be said about all of these things, especially COVID and what that's all about.
Oh, my gosh. We have the fight of our lives again because she's such a tyrannical dictator governor. I can't imagine having her.
Right, and there are people that think that there's another one coming. I don't know, of course, if there is or not. I'll know the future as soon as I'm there. But the next one, if it does come, the people that are predicting it are predicting a real doozy. In other words, it's not just going to be COVID or, a coronavirus, but it's going to be a coronavirus that's got other elements in it.
I'm anticipating that as well, but I won't even acknowledge it when it happens. So.
I often just keep my eyes on the focal point of where it is, the perspective, and let everything else fall away. Like I have an artist's eye, so I really try to. The contrasts are beautiful. That's always what makes a good painting is heavy contrasting and lines that really dive. So that's what we want to see happen. On President Trump's part, are those really decisive moves that you're speaking of. That's what we're looking forward to seeing him do. And we're behind him with that because we need to get this country. He's doing peace deals. That's wonderful. But as Mother Teresa said, peace begins at home. So we're really looking forward to how he's going to accomplish that here. And I'm definitely on the love talking about peace and you have the ear and the eyes and the heart. It's for making that artistry as well, I believe, from hearing you speak. And so with Tina, just getting back to her for a moment, she's on probation for 3 years. Is that correct?
Well, no, not quite.
Okay.
I'm not probation, but on parole.
Parole,
which is like
that's what I meant.
it's the same thing as probation, but the terms of her parole are the same as anyone else's. She doesn't have any special conditions there that she can't speak or whatever.
Okay.
So whenever she makes a move, she's got to. If she goes out of state for something, she's got to get it cleared with a parole officer. and so on.
Right.
But she's got the right to move. She's got the right to go to another state. There's a lot of.
So we need to
A
get
lot
her
of
name
rights.
clear again, right? That's what you're going to be
Right,
working
and-
towards as Attorney General.
And that's why we're going to the Supreme Court of Colorado with those things that I discussed. But that's just really, we're not expecting the Supreme Court of Colorado to do anything. They're part of the
Yes.
of a
the
captured
problem.
state.
Yep.
You know, when the politicians fix the elections and take over, in other words, when the criminals take over, then what happens? The first thing they do is they usher in and the horrible judges, and they usher out the good ones. So I mean, that's part of the takeover. That's what they do. That's all part of the handbook. So I don't know what we've got in the Supreme Court of Colorado, but we're really using that as a stepping stone to get to the Supreme Court of the United States, because we have to go that route.
It's amazing. Well, we both, I'm sure I can speak for Sarah and myself, as this develops, we'd love to have you on in here. Obviously you need some time, let Tina get acclimated, and I'm not sure when that court case will be, but we would love to keep letting our audience know what's going on and not let this fall to the wayside. I don't want this, we got to keep this stuff at the forefront.
Is there any, a lot of...
I got to tell you, I love your New York accents.
Thank you. Should I say coffee and
I'm
water?
the Bronx, so I know how to drink water.
Water. And Sarah was
Yeah.
a NYPD officer, 9/11 first responder. So she's...
So I tell you that they didn't know that we would have so much, when they knock you down, you just got to get back up again, And I believe that a lot of Americans have that spirit, and I think we're going to see that coming up more and more each day, and you're going to be strengthened. We're going to feel the strength of that behind us. Is that correct?
It has to be.
Has to be. I
There's
like
no
that
choice.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we're just winding up. Again, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for standing up for January 6th.
Yes.
Front runners here, if you would. And we're going to stay in this, and there's just nowhere else to go but towards the peace. And I want to thank you again. And anybody who needs to reach Mr. Tickton could just reach him through his law firm. Thank you again, sir.
Right. Legalbrains.com.
Legalbrains.com.
Legal Brains.
Well, I hope you're
.com.
relishing in this excitement of her coming out, and God bless you, Peter, for everything you're doing. We are big fans, and we thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for doing what you're doing too. I mean, it's.
We're not stopping. Until this country
No.
is saved and we're really in a good place, none of us, I don't think we could stop if we wanted to, including you. We got to keep fighting what God wants us to fight.
Once you're in the fight, there's no getting out of it. There's no way
That's
I can
right.
possibly get out of it. Yeah. I don't want to get out of it.
I know. Well,
And you mentioned that you'll be safe. I don't know for sure if I'll be safe, but it doesn't matter.
that's right. There's no fear in a patriot heart, and we're going to pray for you. So
Yes.
God bless you, our friend.
God bless
Thank you so much for tuning
Thank you.
in, everyone. Thank you.